Say, listen, I changed the music, folks, for you because Tony George complained about the do elevator music. So Doc's Daily, we're here live in full effect Friday, August 8th. Got Robert Faringo with us, talk some NFL preseason for week 1. We'll talk some MLB. We'll talk about last night's Friday football release party. I want to mention that was on Thursday Night Live and what to expect from that all season long. But before we do that, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, drop in the comment section what you're into today. We got degenerates. Today is a day for us. We got CFL preseason football, NFL preseason football. We got WNBA, we got MLB. Degenerates unite. This is our kind of day here. Don't forget about the Saturday show. It's 11 a.m. Eastern. That's with Griffin and I. Today, don't forget, like, share, subscribe. New customers, free $60 account, docsports.com/free60. YouTube members, the link's in the description of the video. If you're not a YouTube member, $4.99, $19.99, $49.99. Level 1, 2, or 3. How crazy you want to get. $49.99 encompasses everything. Gets you a Craig video play or 3 video plays every day. 1 video, 3 plays. That's what I'm trying to say. 2, 3, 4 unit plays. Indian Cowboy levels, $19.99. $4.99, you get early access to pre-recorded content. And yours truly, Captain Degenerate himself, 1 play a day, 5-6 days a week. Robert's thrilled, by the way. Don't lie, Robert. You follow.
Love it.
And Robert brings with us a promo code for you guys, NFL Pre-40. Special offer, limited time through the weekend, through today and tomorrow. Explain this a little bit, what they get with that and how they can use that. You did this very well last night on your football release party show, and I was like, I got to write that down, or how you say it.
It's the most random.
I know, it just came out of your mouth. I can tell you the plan.
25%, 50% off, something like that. They just decided to throw a 40% off on a $45 package. So during the preseason, we don't do top games. In a few weeks when the season starts, it's $99 for a weekly pass. That gets you a handicapper's picks from Thursday through Monday Night Football. All right, $99. Or you can get their top games, which are listed on the site, for $30 a piece, just individual games. Okay, we don't do that during the preseason. Preseason, we kind of split the baby here. It's $45 for a weekend preseason pass this weekend and next weekend. That'll get you all of the plays from your chosen handicapper, including whatever their best bet is for the weekend. Now, this promo gets you 40% off of the $45 charge. And it's okay. I went ahead. I did the math for you. It gives about $18 off, so it's $27. $27 using this promo code. So it's less than the cost of one individual top game. And like, for instance, I have 8 plays on my card this weekend. You can get all 8 for $27. And if you are a smart and savvy human being like Detroit Lenny, you will use that free 60 down in the description down there. That gets you $60 free to use towards anything. So that, when used in conjunction with the NFL Pre-40, you can get 2 handicappers weekend preseason package for free and still have money left over and still have $6 left over. So
you get a hot and ready pizza down the street. So
right, seriously, and sit and watch your games.
Honestly,
exactly.
if you call customer support, guy might send you a hot and ready. I doubt it. I mean, you got to be in Vegas. I'm telling you right now, we're not sending pizzas across country.
Good morning to Rodney Ferguson. Thank you for joining us from Fallon.
Robert, Rodney, you're from Fallon, Nevada. I know where that's at. I'm down Vegas area, but I know where that's at. I've been that way. That's not too far from Vegas. What are your thoughts on the Marlins? First 5 and the over. Let's just jump right into baseball. What you got play on this? Your thoughts on this game?
I mean, tough beat for Indian Cowboy yesterday. He had his 7-year play on Miami. We talked about this on the Doc's Daily yesterday, that Atlanta is just a sinking ship, and how I've been waiting to call that out because I don't want to give them the kiss of life. That is my superpower. And the Braves overcame a 5-1 deficit yesterday. They have Bryce Elder, who is not good. ERA over 6, soft, weak arm. I don't know, man. I'm not betting on Atlanta right now until they play the Mets, but I don't love Miami in the road favorite spot. They've been hitting the ball a little bit lately. I get it. They're better than the Braves in the standings. They got a better record, this, that, and the other thing. They had that sweep over the Yankees, but that was at home. That was different. I don't like the value with the Marlins as a road favorite. I just don't think there's too many teams in baseball that the Marlins should be favored over.
I'll tell you what, I'm a little iffy on some baseball today. There's a couple games I 100% like, probably like 3 or 4 that I went pretty decent on. And then I kind of stayed away from a lot of baseball today because some of these series right now are going to be really interesting. I want to see like the Royals Twins series. I want to see how game 1 comes out and plays out. I don't think the Twins are as good as advertised, sweeping the Tigers, obviously. But I don't know what Kansas City's doing. I don't know what they did at the trade deadline. I don't know if they know what they're doing. I don't know what their long-term plan is. I'm not 100% sure.
I need them to keep losing is what I need, because I got a big, fat futures ticket on them under 83.5 wins, and they're creeping right up on 500. They've been below 500 for a long time, so I need them to lose some games. Unfortunately, I don't think that they're going to this weekend. We're in a similar spot today with Joe Ryan on the mound as we were in last weekend with them, where I was like, look, you got to bet against the Twins. They're a AAA team right now. Like, that's the lineup that they're trotting out. And sometimes that cuts both ways, right? You get these call-ups that are so like jazzed up to be in Major League Baseball that they come out all piss and vinegar and they're playing with their hair on fire. And I feel like that's what we saw with Detroit. But over the course of these next 9 weeks, like the talent gap between Minnesota and a normal functioning Major League team is going to play itself out. I think that they're going to have a letdown after that series against the Twins, or excuse me, against the Tigers. Right. And I think Kansas City is going to either sweep or at least get 2 out of 3. And I think you're getting good value. I know you don't want to bet against Joe Ryan, right? But even if he goes 7 innings and only gives up 1 run, they still have to turn it over to their bullpen, which they just gutted. Horrible. So that's what happened to him in his last start. So I like the underdog value with Kansas City, and I definitely like the series price, whatever it is in this game.
I need my Tigers to have a good series against the Angels to get back on track, because Cleveland's coming and they're like fast. I mean, and they play the White Sox this series, so I expect Cleveland to kind of run through the White Sox a little bit. I'm hoping the White Sox stumble and take a game from them in this series, but I don't know. The Tigers are the Tigers are. It is what it is. We talked last night, or you talked last night with a few handicappers. I was just backstage taking notes. I ain't gonna lie. The football release party show is something that you guys are going to want to get into on Thursday nights. That's going to be live every Thursday night, 6 o'clock Eastern. And Robert Fringo will be hosting. He'll have different guests on every day or every week, different cappers, different views on every week's perspective of different games. Tell us a little bit about what to expect, I guess, on that show.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that, and I hope the viewers really enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot of good information. Basically, we release our football plays at Doc Sports for the weekend every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So in conjunction with that, I'm going to have a Doc's football release party, YouTube Live, every Thursday at 6 o'clock. So the picks go live, and then boom, we are right on the air. And last night I had Jason Sharp, Scott Spreitzer, Rafael Esparza, Arun Shiva. So including myself, that's 5 of the handicappers. That's almost half the team. And we just kind of
that's half the roster.
And they weren't all at once, so it wasn't crowded. Like I did a one-on-one with Jason, then a one-on-one with Scott. Occasionally there'll be 3 of us on the screen. But basically the idea is that every week we're just gonna like get together and talk shop. Talk about what games we were really sweating this week, what we're really looking forward to. If somebody has a big play, they'll talk about it. You guys can get an idea of what it's like for us handicappers, on those days of Thursday where you're doing your research, where you're making calls, where you're looking at numbers, and then you have to make that final decision. Is this my top play? Am I including this play on the card or not? And we can just get into a little bit of the decision-making of professional handicappers. You guys will be able to ask us questions if you want information on specific games or free plays and stuff like that. So, it's going to be a good time, and it's something that you should definitely put in your schedule. Every Thursday at 6 o'clock, once the picks go live, Doc's football release party.
For sure. First of all, it was great to see. I mean, I work with all you guys like behind the scenes and stuff, but to really see, like, I have not seen Jason Sharp and Scott Spreitzer ever on screen together. And
Right.
you know what I mean? At one point,
They
you know what I
haven't
mean?
been. They never have been. Some of
Right.
these guys I don't think have ever communicated face to face, but that was part of the impetus behind me wanting to do this. Is I think it's fun to take two guys that
Yeah.
have worked together but don't really know each other and just
Right.
throw them together and get weird. Like let's just get weird.
Get weird. Yeah.
You know, that's a focus for me.
That's an accurate description of that show too. Let's just get weird about some football.
Yeah.
You know,
We got a couple guys asking some questions in here. Diamondbacks run line, Brandon Peduzzi. If you've watched anything about Docs Daily over the last 4 months, you know where I'm going with this. Bet against the Rockies every single day. Zach Gallen has been clown all year, and I'm super surprised because this guy has been a low-key moneymaker for me over the last 3 years. Griffin and Nick saw him live earlier this year, and they're like, yeah, this dude is a mess. So I'm not expecting a turnaround from Zach Gallen, and Arizona's kind of a sinking ship. They waved the white flag on this season after they traded away a bunch of guys in the trade deadline. So Arizona is like a long-term sell for me, but it is the Rockies. They have only won 30 games this year. They are all-time historic bad. You cannot bet enough against the Rockies. Now, that doesn't mean go nuts. For me, it's been a sprint betting against them, right? It's $200, $200, $200, $200, $200, and you come out on top. So I don't trust Zach Gallen enough to make this like a go big situation. But if the Rockies are playing, that's the only excuse that you need to bet against them.
We're going to use the word playing loosely. I'm on the over in that game personally because I don't trust Zach Gallen to get it done.
Right.
I don't really trust anybody on either side of that squad to really get anything done. But I think something I trust probably the most out of all the like side total prop anything is really just the over, because I think there's just two teams that are just going to smack the ball around.
I mean, two bad hitters and
1-0 now.
And after what Colorado's pitching has done over the last week, like what did they give up? They give up 50 runs in that series against Toronto. I think it was
10,
like
15,
30, 45. They gave up 45
runs.
And in the
45 to 6
that,
they were scoring
against the Pirates, they gave up 30 runs in 3 games to the goddamn Pirates.
Right.
The Pirates can't hit. So yeah, I think that's a great call by you. The over is probably the sharper play than that, because you're still getting juiced out on that run line. That until Colorado proves that it can get literally anyone out. And I understand, those games were in Coors Field. I get all that. No, their pitching is just bad. It really is just that bad.
I mean, Zach Gallen, he has been not great. He's a head case for sure, but at the same time, he's won 8 games.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So, and against the Rockies, I feel like he gets 9 today, but I'm not going to trust him. I hope he gives up a couple runs, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's won 8 games with a 5.6 ERA. So what does that tell you? A lot of runs are being scored. A lot of run support that are when he's playing. So, all right, Jack Hashimoto, thoughts on the answer? Love the football release party. Thank you to Travis. Yeah. I'm glad you like that, or I'm glad you watched that. Thank you for watching that. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I think it's going to get better and better as the season goes
all
on.
Season long. That's what I like about. I really can't wait till like we're mid-season and
we're really getting
there's always a Cinderella surprise story coming up in the NFL, or some kind of story where fall from this, or some injury. I want to get perspectives from multiple handicappers that maybe look at different stuff, because I know some guys cap week, like Tony George is looking at lines next week, stuff like that, like opening line report stuff, look ahead line, I call it look ahead lines. I'm looking ahead, I'm already looking at week 2.
Well, a perfect example last night of like a good little nugget that fell out was talking to Scott and Raphael. Like for me, the most interesting number on the week 1 preseason betting board was that Indianapolis-Baltimore game. I couldn't understand it. I said yesterday, was breaking my brain that there was a 7.5 point line movement in a preseason game, and that it was going against the Ravens, like the all-time great preseason bet. I just could not square that circle. And they both were like, yeah, we're on the Ravens. This is square public money that's coming in. Where I thought the opposite this week, looking at that line movement, I'm like, man, somebody's betting big on the Colts, right? The squares, they're all going to bet the Ravens because all the Ravens do is win, right? It went the exact opposite way. It went Scott Spritzer came in and mentioned that if you just bet against the big line movements like that in the preseason over the last few years, you would have went, last year, you would have went 26-13. Boom, what happens? Ravens win, cover, win outright, easy money. Where for me, that was a stay away game. I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I want no part of it. These guys were very confidently striding into it for this reason and that reason, and it cashed. So if you were watching that show, maybe that gave you the confidence to be like, you know what, they're making some sense. Let's hit the Ravens, and you cashed a ticket last night. So
I was in the same boat as you. I did not pull the trigger on that game. I did want to pull the trigger on Baltimore, but it looks so weird, with all that. I'm like, you know what? It's preseason. It's week 1. Just move on, Lenny. Just, we don't have to bet it. Sometimes no bet is the best bet. We don't have to bet it. And that's usually me being a football junkie that I am. I have to tell myself that, like, we don't have to bet it. Even though we think the Lions are going to destroy the Atlanta Hawks tonight, Falcons, whatever they are, the Dirty Birds.
Yeah, don't have to
destroy everything in Georgia. I'm not betting it, but I would have been on the Ravens, and the Ravens win easily.
But look, this is why I say that NFL preseason betting serves a function. And I wrote an article that was on Docs yesterday. You can go find it on the Mother site yesterday, talking about why it is important for bettors to bet on the preseason. Now, you're betting small. You shouldn't be betting the same amount. Your unit size for a preseason game should not be what it is, but you still should be involved in betting for this exact reason. It's just working those parts of your football betting brain to get yourself prepared for the season. So it's looking at that Colts Ravens line, being like, oh, there's a move. This is that.
Right.
Our money is it this. What's going to happen? And then you watch it develop. Same thing with Detroit. Okay. They came out and threw up all over themselves in the Hall of Fame game. You and I are both expecting the bounce back, right? Dan Campbell is going to have them ready to play this week. This is where he eats, man, is like getting his team fired up and motivated to play. And motivation is the number one determining factor of a preseason bet. If they come out and they tear up the Falcons, then it's like, okay, got it. He's still got control. We're still good looking forward. The Lions are meeting my expectations. If they get beat by 2 touchdowns and turn the ball over again tonight, then it's like, all right, there are problems here. And now we can take that information and apply it to the regular season. So like all of this information adds up over the course of a 6-month season, and it's all valuable. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
So, hey, I also want to jump in. I mentioned Jack Hashimoto wanted to know my thoughts on the Astros-Yankees. I actually have a rated play in this. I like the Astros. I like it small. I think there's value here, basically just because of the pitching mismatch, right? Like Hunter Brown against Schlitz or whatever. That's not me swearing.
That's Schlitz. That's good beer. Schlitz. It's good
literally
beer.
the guy's name. But the Yankees have dominated this series. They've won 9 out of 10 over the last 2 years against the Astros. So I understand being a little bit hesitant. I just don't trust the Yankees. They've been a very mediocre team over the last 2 months. And I know Houston hasn't played great, but I have seen a little bit of spark from them since the trade deadline. And like I said, for me, it really just comes down to a complete and total pitching mismatch. There aren't too many times you're going to get Hunter Brown at minus 105. Okay. Like he's been great in his last 2 starts. Hard luck loser. He went 7 strong innings, gave up 4 hits and 1 run, but lost to Boston. So, I like him and I like the Astros in this spot for such a small price.
I love this right here. Football love for the football show last night. The football show was awesome. Most of y'all shows are good, though. Been using Docs for almost 20 years. Keep up the good work, gentlemen. Thank you, Rodney. You're the reason we do it.
Thank you, Rodney.
All you other people, we appreciate you too, but just Rodney, we thank you so much. We really do. A lot of work went into that show last night. A lot of stuff and a lot of effort goes into all these shows, and that's what we do it for. Is just to educate everyone.
For the people.
Love it.
For the people.
For the people. I'm a man of the people.
Rodney had a question back a little higher in the chat. I think he was asking about that Carolina Cleveland total. Did I see that right?
Yes.
This is definitely a game that I am interested in, and I'm not going to lie, I am interested in Shedeur Sanders. Okay, and it's not a media-driven hype thing. I don't watch a lot of ESPN. I don't watch a lot of Fox Sports, stuff like that. Like this is just my general curiosity because I can't explain what happened in the draft, not rationally or reasonably. It's either one thing or another. Either it was like conspiracy theory, the owners colluding because they didn't like his attitude coming into the draft and they want to dissuade that type of nonsense moving forward. It's not like we've never seen the owners collude, or it's that NFL analysts and people who break down potential talent coming in here. They saw something, they're like, he's not an NFL quarterback. His arm's not strong enough. His accuracy's not good enough. And they saw something that I didn't, because the guy I saw last year in Colorado looked like an NFL caliber quarterback. Now he's a rookie. Is he going to suck? Is he going to do some stupid things? Yeah, absolutely. But that's why I kind of like the over in this game tonight. Either he goes out and throws 2 touchdowns and looks really good, because based on a lot of reports, or he comes out and he turns the ball over a couple times. Now, from Carolina's perspective, and nobody's really talking about Carolina in this game, and why would you? They're losers. But last year they had an all-time terrible defense. They allowed the most points in NFL history last year. They restocked the cupboards on that side of the ball. I still don't think they're very good on that side of the ball, but you have to think that their total focus in training camp is on defense. So that, I think, that and the quarterback situation in Cleveland is why this number is depressed. It's the lowest total on the board. However, their head coach, Dave Canales, he's an offensive guy, offensive coordinator. I went back and looked at some of the numbers that he put up when he was with Tampa Bay as an offensive coordinator in the preseason. And I kind of like Carolina's weapons. I kind of like some of the young guys that they have going on there, even in the second and third team, like Jalen Coker, guy who was an undrafted free agent last year. Like, he was a great pickup for them. He's going to be their number 3 receiver. He'll probably get a lot of run before halftime. Don't forget that Bryce Young is still in that heavy developmental phase. Like, I don't know if he's going to play or not tonight, but if he does, he's going to throw the ball. They got to see they got to get this guy ready for the season. So I think that there's offensive motivation on both of these teams. And I do think that we're going to see a lot of points. The weather is good in Charlotte. Don't forget to check that with your handicapping in the preseason. Yes. If the weather is bad, even if it's like bad where it wouldn't normally impact like how you would bet a total during the regular season. If there's like any rain or any bad weather, if there are coaches that are like, or are we going to play this guy? We're not. They're not playing. They're not playing. We're running the ball. We're just trying to get out of here without anybody hurt. But weather's good. Offensive coaches, quarterback questions. I think we're going to see some points.
Yeah, I'm on the over. A small unit, just F around and find out on a Friday kind of thing, because I'm a degenerate and I want some football action. That's the game I picked, to be honest with you. I don't know what to tell you.
I got to ask you, Lenny, was there any other games either tonight? I know Detroit and Atlanta, but that's low-hanging fruit. But were there any other games like tomorrow? There's a lot of games. Any other games this weekend that you were kind of interested in, whether it's from a betting perspective or just from a storyline perspective? Like, I want to see how this guy looks. I want to see how the Jets look under Aaron Glenn. I want to see how this offensive coordinator looks. What jumped out at you that you're looking forward to?
I want to see the Jets Packers. I want to see Aaron Glenn get a hold of that defense. It was good last year. I can't imagine when it's going to be this year. I've said this before on Doc's Daily numerous times. I think the Lions will miss Aaron Glenn more than they will miss Ben Johnson. Down the road, we won't know that this is true or not till February. But I really think that we will miss Aaron Glenn more than we will miss Ben Johnson. But I am looking forward to that Jets-Packers game. I'm also looking forward to kind of the Texans-Vikings game. I am kind of looking to that. I think we're going to see some J.J. McCarthy in the Vikings, and I want to see – I can't stand that guy. I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm just telling you right now, J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy, can't stand him. And now I really don't like him because he's a Viking. But I haven't all through college. I mean, I'm a Michigan State guy. He played for Michigan. It's hard for me to wear a Hutchinson jersey right now because he played for Michigan. But, I want to see how that Vikings team gels, because I think you are going to see some first stringers on the Vikings, kind of similar to the Bengals. Yesterday, Joe Burrow comes out, goes 9 for 10, 8 for 9, whatever he does, 2 touchdowns. Boom, boom, boom. Breaking news, Jamar Chase and Jim Burrow have a connection. Right? Like, I couldn't believe SportsCenter last night was like showing all these highlights. I'm like, this isn't breaking news. Like, what are we talking about here? So I'm interested in those 2 games. I'm going to try and actually I'm more interested in those from a betting angle and just a watch view kind of angle.
Actually, that will be the free play that I will give out today. I actually like the Jets with the points. I think it was Rafael Esparza last night kind of talked me into this one on the Doc's Football release show. It kind of dovetails with a lot of situations. Like, we have a rookie first-year head coach in his first game with the team. as an underdog. Everything I've read about the Jets camp so far, the word that comes up is physicality. They've been hitting, they've been in pads, and that makes sense, right? Like he comes from that Dan Campbell school where they want to hit people, they want to hurt people. He is trying to develop a winning culture there. So I just think Aaron Glenn is going to take this game like a lot more seriously than the Packers are. And traditionally and historically over the last 10 years, the Packers are a team that really have punted on the preseason. Like they couldn't care less. A lot of what, they're not a team that brings in a lot of free agents and things like that. They have a good core. They have a good system. They're about player development. Like the Packers kind of have their own little thing going on. So I can see Aaron Glenn coming in here, just hair on fire, getting his guys fired up, wanting to get that first win. They're catching points. And when they're playing against a team that doesn't care, we'll see. Tyrod Taylor is the backup behind Justin Fields. Tyrod Taylor, good veteran quarterback. If he gets two quarters, if he gets 2 quarters, I don't know how they're going to run their quarterbacks. I haven't seen enough information on that. But if Tyrod Taylor gets 2 quarters or a quarter and a half against third stringers and rookies, he's going to put some points on the board. Okay. Coming in after him is Adrian Martinez, who I don't think is a very good quarterback, but he fits the profile of what works in the preseason. And that's running quarterbacks. Okay. Because you're behind third, fourth string offensive line by this time in the second half. You better be able to move. You better be able to, play breaks down. You better be able to make something out of it. That's what Adrian Martinez can do, and I think he will be fine with. Where Green Bay is a team, they're not going to play a lot of their starters. I don't expect to see much or any Jordan Love. They know what they got with Malik Willis, so I don't expect more of a quarter from him. And then their fourth string quarterback is a guy named Taylor Elgersma. Taylor Elgersma, I have no idea who this human being is. Okay, but he is the Packers' fourth string quarterback. So
you'll see action tonight.
Canadian professional football quarterback. I don't know who this guy is. His education on Wikipedia says he came from Oak Ridge Secondary School. Okay, so don't know. But if this guy's getting a full quarter in the fourth quarter, I'm going to put my money on
Aaron Glenn and the Jets.
Okay, so I like the Jets. I like the points. I'll be surprised if they don't win that game.
I like that, and I really like it that you like it now because I think Lambeau playing Green Bay. Aaron Glenn's familiar with that. I think that does transition over for head coaches that come from, like you mentioned, Aaron Glenn coming from Dan Campbell and the Lions mentality. I think that rivalry. I mean, I know it's not like big. He's not circling it on the calendar. Oh, week 1 Green Bay, we're going to screw them because I was
absolutely is. Yeah, no,
I don't think he's doing all that, but
he wants to win his first game, and he still hates the Packers.
Oh, so everybody hates the Bears. I mean, that's just that.
Right. I'm saying he's going to take this game, and he's going to have his team ready to take this game a lot more seriously than the Packers. That's what I'm saying. I will be completely surprised if this is not a very motivated Jets team who bring a level of intensity into this game. And don't forget, like, we're talking about training camps. We're talking about guys trying to earn paychecks, earn jobs, earn spots on the roster. Yes. Green Bay's roster is pretty much set. They have the same head coach. They have the same assistant coaches. Like they're probably nibbling around the edges of who that 50th, 51st, 52nd, 53rd guy is. The Jets, all new coaching staff, all new roster. Like, these guys are trying to earn their spots. So again, like, they're going to be a lot hungrier team in this game. Now, it's still the Jets, and the Jets, just by their inherent jetsiness, are losers. But I think that this is a worthwhile spot for a little, like as Lenny says, a little pizza money. Just bring
a little pizza money, a little sprinkle,
a little pizza money.
Put an extra topping on there, a little meat lovers.
And to bring a full circle, this goes back to what I was saying before. This is a game where you put a little money on the Jets, and you sit back and you watch, and you'll pay more attention because you have a little money on it, right? And then we see, are they playing the way that we think that they're going to come out and play? And if the Jets come out and they're hitting people and they're jumping around on the sideline and they win this game, then you're like, okay, Aaron Glenn has them at least pointed in the right direction. Like, he's doing what I think.
They're listening to him.
Right. He's doing it. If they come out and they're sloppy and they're unprepared and they're turning the ball over and they lose by 10 points to a Packers team that we know doesn't really care about this game, then it's like, okay, maybe he needs a little bit of time, and maybe the Jets are going to develop a little slower. So again, there's information to be taken from these games.
Fair enough. Last thing before we get out of here, Frank wants to know World Series preview he thinks tonight. Blue Jays, Dodgers. I can't say that as a Tiger fan. I do think the Blue Jays, though, are the team to beat in the American League.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Blue Jays team we've been waiting for 4 years, right? Like they've had all that talent with Bichette and Guerrero Jr. and this, that. Like we've been waiting for it. And now it's finally here, and it has been fun to watch. Now, I don't have just because they have the best record in the American League, I'm not willing to crown them because, frankly, the American League has been kind of a debacle this season. There is not a dominant team. They may have the best record, but they are not a dominant team in the American League. There is no dominant team in the American League. Like, we still don't know what this playoff picture is fully going to look like. And when it does, this 100% looks like the type of year where like a wild card team in the American League gets hot, goes on a run, goes to the World Series. We've seen it a bunch of times in the National League, not as much in the American League because the American League has been top heavy. Now it's not. The Astros aren't what they were 4 years ago. The Yankees aren't what they were 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So, like, no, I'm not willing to put Toronto on that trajectory. And even from the Dodgers' perspective, they're still the best team. They're the defending champions. Maybe they're just playing possum, being like, you know what? We're not going to overexert ourselves in the regular season because we know that, our legacy is going to be based on World Series. So they're saving it for the playoffs. Maybe. But there's some damn good teams in the National League. The Brewers are no joke. The Phillies are no joke. If the Mets get another crack at them after losing to them in the NLCS next year, that if the Mets make it to that point, that will have meant that the Mets are playing up to their potential and their talent level. So neither one of these teams, the Dodgers or Blue Jays, would I expect at this point, August 8th, I would not say I expect either one of them to be in the World Series. Great series for the weekend, though.
I'll say this. Great series for the weekend. Would have been better 5 years ago. Kershaw and Scherzer on the mound.
Sure.
Would have been great 5 years ago. Now they're going to wheel them out there though a little bit. I don't know if I don't have a play in this game. But I worry about the Dodgers with that mentality that you kind of mentioned. It's that you just hit a switch and now we're here. We're ready for the playoffs. Let's just hit a switch, turn it on. I don't think that works at all ever. And I think this might bite them in the ass a little bit, Dodgers, if you're just sitting there playing possum, waiting for the playoffs to start. And then you hope to have a rhythm. You know what I mean? Hope that answers your question, Frank.
Now, the wind is blowing out today a little bit in Chavez Ravine, and the Dodgers offense has been a little bit up and down where, like, I feel like the pendulum is going to swing back. I hit a big over with them earlier in the week. So I'm a little nervous about that. But traditionally, this late in the season, when you have two playoff caliber teams, two winning teams like that, the under is usually a good bet throughout this series this weekend. Because honestly, this game will be played with kind of playoff intensity.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's what I expect. And when you have two good teams, if you're a good team, that usually means you have good pitching, good bullpen, good defense, good around the edges. So I would look a little bit at the under tonight in that game, but no, I'm with you. I'm just going to sit back and watch these three games rather than. I'm
glad you said that under because I was looking at the first five under. I was looking at both these pitchers getting up and I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And they get up for it. You can get a total at 5 for the first 5. A lot of places 4.5, but 5s are out there.
Weird matchup, unfamiliar matchup, right? Like these pitchers aren't going to be familiar with the hitters from the other team because these aren't two teams that play each other very much. So, a lot of there's going to be a lot of if this series is a boxing match, these two are going to be kind of like dancing around. I feel like a lot in this first game, and that could lead to fewer runs than we're expecting.
Agreed. Anything you got to plug before we bounce on out of here? What do you got going on this weekend?
What are the odds? 2:00.
Yes.
What are the odds? Are at 2:00. Raphael and I are going to be breaking down the top of the SEC and digging a little deeper into some of the numbers, line movements, and the nuts and bolts of what's going on in the NFL preseason this weekend. That's at 2:00, so that's in 25 minutes. I have my preseason game of the year going this weekend. There's one game that jumped out at me. I know. I'm just like
week 1, Robert. You're panicking already. You're making me nervous.
No, that's the point. Is that I felt like it would have been a panic move if I had kind of held back and been like, oh, I'm nervous, I'm scared. No, I saw it. I'm throwing the punch. I'm throwing
Okay.
the punch. I like this game. I like the situation. It's going kind of against the grain with a lot of what we've been hearing in camps. And a big thing, give you guys a little tip on the way out. One of the big things I look at when I handicap NFL preseason is those third and fourth strings. How many rookies does a team have? Like there's one team I was handicapping. I forget what game it is. They have 26 rookies on their third and fourth string, and they're playing a team that has like 10 rookies on their third and fourth string. So one of these teams is going to be a mess in the second half of this game. One of these teams will be okay because they have like veteran guys who have been through the preseason. So it's one of those situations. So that, and Monday, I'm releasing my 8-unit college football future of the year. This is my 8-unit football future. I have 2 6 units, one in the NFL and one college. Love, love, love. Last year, my 8-unit future was San Francisco under 11.5 wins. They won 6 games. I am 10-1 in all sports with my 8-unit futures over the last 3 years. This is something I do very, 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 very well, and I'm not afraid to brag about it a little bit. Which
no, hey, with records like that, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You know, I mean, hey, listen, and I'm telling you, right, I like it. I'll be there right along with you. Good luck today, folks. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Jet's a good pick. We'll find out. Good luck unless you're against us. We'll see you tomorrow, Saturday, 11 a.m., Doc's Daily, 2 o'clock. You got about 23 minutes. You got enough time to go get something to drink, get another coffee, take a leak. We'll be back. What are the odds? Robert and Raphael. And then at 6 o'clock Eastern, betting outside the box, me and Raphael, 6 o'clock Eastern. That's tonight. Good luck unless you're against us. We'll see you on the next one.